Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islamic Calling Podcast. Today, I'll be reacting to Nabi Asli once again. So, in case you guys don't know, Nabi Asli is an extreme Islamophobic YouTuber. He basically makes animation style videos to mock Islam.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
A lot of you guys wanted me to do another response to him. So I figured, why not? I mean, I already made a video on him, and in the video I showed how this guy is a complete liar and a fraud because he, for the most part, just lies about Islamic history to make Islam look bad to his audience. So let's take a look at his video and then I'll make my response.
After defeating a non-believer community, Prophet Muhammad took 1/5 of the booty.
I have the right to take 1/5 of the loots and to choose first which one I want, according to Quran, Surah Al-Anfal, verse 41.
After that, he divided the rest of the loot among the Muslim soldiers.
He acts as if like Muslims were going around just attacking non-Muslim community for no reason. Like
That doesn't make sense.
they're just bored one day and just attack. Obviously, that's not what happened. So basically, here he's committing the contextomy fallacy. So the contextomy fallacy, or also known as quoting out of context fallacy, is basically when you quote incidents or text out of context. But in reality, if you put context into that situation, the conclusion it doesn't follow. Basically, what he's referring to is basically the pagans, right? Pagans and their allies. So Muslims were going around attacking them and their caravans and whatnot because they were at war. Okay, that's what happens in war. So, and why did they go to war? He also doesn't mention that because the Muslims were kicked out. They were tortured for years. They were starved. They were kicked out of their homes. They left that area. And that's the reason they were at war. And he doesn't give any context to it. This is extremely dishonest because like, if you don't give context to the incidents that you're talking about, it gives the impression to people that Muslims were just going around, killing people. And that's exactly what he wants. He wants people to think that Muslims were these barbarians, they were going around attacking people, and there's no context behind it. Obviously, that's false.
After defeating a non-believer community, Prophet Muhammad took 1/5 of the booty.
I have the right to take 1/5 of the loots and to choose first which one I want, according to Quran, Surah Al-Anfal, verse 41.
Another point that he brings up is that,
Prophet he would just take a share, right? 1/5 of the share.
as the verse says, which is true. By the way, please notice, only 1/5 would go to the Prophet, which means he would get a lesser share. And what's even interesting is that he doesn't tell you what he does with his share. The Prophet never kept any of the loot that he got. He actually gave it away. He actually gave almost everything away. He was extremely charitable. He didn't keep anything to himself. Now, let's read a few hadith which demonstrates the Prophet's generosity. For example, Ibn Kathir mentions a hadith in verse 841. He says, "This is also a part of the war booty you earned. Verily, I have no share in it, except my own share, the 5th designated to me. Even that 5th will be given to you," indicating the Prophet's generosity. So in this hadith, you can clearly see that the hadith that Ibn Kathir is quoted, the Prophet ﷺ would often, whenever he would get one of the 5th share, he would give all that share to the soldier. He wouldn't keep anything to himself. Notice how in his videos, like if you look at the background, look at here. Here you have this character, and behind this character, there's this another person who's just completely stiff.
Oh my god! Wow!
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the Get your ass on, boy.
Like there's no movement at all. He's like a statue. Like his animation is so garbage. Like if you're gonna mock Islam, at least make better animation.
What was it about Moses that you attribute this to him?
Here's the story that happened long time ago. In the time of Prophet Moses, the Israelites liked to bathe together so that they could see each other's bodies. Unlike most Israelites, Prophet Moses preferred to bathe alone. This led to many unflattering allegations about him. One day Prophet Moses went to take a bath. He put his clothes on a stone, but the stone ran away with his clothes.
One thing you'll notice is that a lot of Islamophobes, especially ex-Muslim, you'll see this hadith being quoted in a lot of like Reddits and ex-Muslim forums and whatnot, of this incident of Musa alayhi salam, and where this rock would take his clothes and run away. And they always mock this, and they're like,
Oh my God, look at this, how stupid Islam is, look at all these miraculous things that are happening.
I always found this argument to be very stupid, because even when I wasn't religious, I would often come across this kind of like ex-Muslims kind of like laughing about this hadith, and it never made sense to me. Because if it is the case that God does exist, then he is responsible for everything that is happening. So you're telling me that this all-powerful being called God, he can move planets like Jupiter and Earth, but he can't move this small rock? He can make this small rock like take Musa alayhi salam's clothes and just move it? Like, of course he can do that, right? Logically, there's no problem here.
This is the event behind the revelation of Quran, Surah Ali Imran, verse 161, which happened after the Badr robbery.
He said that this is a robbery. This is a complete lie. This is not a robbery. Like, the Battle of Badr was an actual battle that took place between Muslims and the enemies of Islam. There's no robbery there. Do you think your audience is stupid? They cannot look this up?
A red robe was missing from the spoils of robbery.
Hey, where is the red robe that was just here? That robe should be here and nobody should take it yet.
Rasulullah might have taken it.
He cannot do that, since the loot has not been distributed yet.
They all went to meet Prophet Muhammad.
Ya Rasulullah, why did you take the red robe from the spoils?
Oh, you should return the robe, Rasulullah.
Oh, I didn't steal it. How dare you accuse me of doing that?
Where is it then?
How could I know? Oh, wait. Allah just gives me a revelation. Quran, Surah Ali Imran, verse 161. It is not appropriate for a prophet to illegally withhold spoils of war. And whoever does so, it will be held against them on the day of judgment. Then every soul will be paid in full for what it has done, and none will be wrong. There you go. Allah already gave you the answer.
But who stole the red robe?
We still don't know.
It's such a stupid accusation. Like, why would the Prophet take it? Like, if he wanted to take it, he can just go and take it. After distribution, he can say, okay, I'm going to take this and keep it as a part of my, like, one-fifth of the share, right? He doesn't need to steal anything. So it's a very stupid accusation in the first place. On top of it, there's no evidence for it that he took it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down this verse, simply clarifying this matter. Anyway, and he just straight up lies about all this. He shows us like these companions, they were angry and they just went to the Prophet and then confronted him about it. None of this happened. So basically what happened, according to actual hadith, is that basically some people were spreading rumors that supposedly the Prophet took this. Ibn Kathir, he mentioned this hadith. He says, it is not for any Prophet to illegally take a part of the booty. Ibn Abbas, Mujahid and Al-Hassan said that the ayah means it is not for a Prophet to breach the trust. Ibn Jarir recorded that Ibn Abbas said that this ayah, it is not for a Prophet to take the booty, was revealed in connection with a red robe that was missing from the spoils of war of Badr. Some people said that Messenger of Allah might have taken it, or when this rumor circulated, Allah sent down this verse that it is not for any prophet to illegally take a part of the booty, and whoever is deceitful with the booty, he shall bring forth on the day of resurrection that which he took. I did some extensive research on this, and according to most of the classical mufassirun, like Imam Tabari and others, what they said is that there are two interpretations of this, and they also quote a lot of different versions of this hadith. So some of these versions actually don't say a red robe. Some of these versions actually say something of a grain. They said that a grain was missing, and some versions say that it was like a plant called marigold. So there are different versions of this hadith, but the point was that something was stolen or something was missing. And I think some other version says that a sword was missing. And the point is that something was missing and someone blamed the Prophet, and there's no evidence that the Prophet took any. But regardless, none of these things about, the companions going to him and, charging him about it, this is all false. I didn't find any evidence of this. Most of the hadith doesn't mention any of that. Most of them that just say that some rumors were circulating, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cleared him of this. Like some people were spreading rumors, and some scholars said these were actually munafiqun or hypocrites. Regardless, this guy's a liar. Let's continue.
During the Hunayn war event, Prophet Muhammad faced another issue regarding the distribution of loot. While he claimed his usual 20% share, he refrained from allocating the remaining 80% to his followers as customary.
I need that 80% share to bribe the people of Hawazin to accept Islam.
Then Prophet Muhammad gave the new converts from the Hawazin people plenty of camels and goods.
You are fake news.
So in the beginning of the animation, he shows that the prophet is saying, I need this money to bribe these people. He never said that. Like, he lies about this whole incident. As a matter of fact, the fact that he lied can actually be shown from his own sources. As it turns out, his own sources refute him. So this incident is from History of Tabari, right?
If you actually read History of Tabari Volume 9 like I did, you'll realize this incident took place during Battle of Hunayn. After the conquest of Mecca, the Hawazin tribe marched against the Muslims. Imam Tabari says in page 1, he says, the Prophet had been staying in Mecca during the year of its conquest for only a fortnight when he received the news that the clans of Hawazin and Thaqif were marching against Mecca and had already encamped at Hunayn intending to fight him. Hunayn is a valley next to Dan al-Majaz. Both the aforementioned tribes had assembled before after hearing about the messenger of God's departure from Medina, thinking that he was intending them. When they learned that he had occupied Mecca, Hawazin marched against him with their women, children, and possessions. Their leader was Malik b. Awf. Then after they marched they were defeated and they were taken captives. Then a delegation from the Hawazin embraced Islam and requested the Prophet to let their captives go, and the Prophet agreed. This is what actually happened. The Prophet never bribed anybody. He simply returned the captives to their families. So Nabi Asli lied and was refuted by his own source. Feel free to check out the PDF. The link is in pinned comment.
I decided to bribe the Quraysh people to accept Islam, especially after their assistance in the Hunayn War against the Hawazin tribe. It required a considerable amount of camels and gold to appease the Quraysh.
The Quraysh leaders, which are Abu Sufyan bin Harb, his two sons Muawiyah and Yazid, Safwan bin Umayyah, Suhail bin Amr, Uyayana bin Hisn, and many more, became known as men of the hundreds, while the Ansar Muslims received nothing.
He had favored his own people with the spoils.
He ignored us, whereas our swords are still dripping blood.
What are you complaining about? Won't you be happy that the people take the wealth while you take the Prophet with you to your homes? By Allah, I am much better than the booty. You will find more material benefits in the future. Just be patient.
Again, like, he's just lying. Like, none of this incident happened where these companions would just go to the Prophet and accuse him of like lying and accuse him of keeping things for himself. Nowhere did we see that these companions would simply go up to the Prophet and just accuse him of things. Like, that didn't happen. Especially not in this hadith. For example, if you read the full hadith, narrated Abdullah bin Zaid bin Asim, when Allah gave to his apostle the war booty on the day of Hunayn, he distributed that booty amongst those whose heart have been recently reconciled to Islam. Now, the reason he did that is because, as I mentioned, people who became Muslim at the time, so Muslims felt a duty to help them. So they seem to have felt angry, but did not give anything to the Ansar. So they seem to have felt angry and sad, as they did not get the same as the other people had got. The Prophet ﷺ then delivered a sermon before them, saying, O the assembly of Ansar, didn't I find you astray and then guided you on the right path through me? You were divided into groups and Allah brought you together through me. You were poor and Allah made you rich through me. Also, in another version of this hadith, the people actually accepted the wisdom of the Prophet. They were actually happy with the fact that the Prophet gave this money to the new river. For example, in Sahih Bukhari 4334, it says, the Prophet ﷺ gathered some people of Ansar and said, the people of Quraysh are still close to their pre-Islamic period of ignorance and have suffered a lot. And I want to help them and attract their hearts. Won't you be pleased that the people took the worldly things and you take Allah's messenger with you to your homes? Then they said, yes, we are pleased with this distribution. So here you can clearly see that the people were actually happy. So yeah, if anything, this only shows how generous the Prophet was. He basically gave everything away to his people. And when his people were upset, he would remind them, look, I'm in the same condition as you. I'll be with you to help you along the way. This idea that he's trying to push that somehow the Prophet stole their money, no, he didn't, because basically it's based on the verse of the Quran. But it says that in order to, if someone became Muslim, you can help them by giving them this money, because being Muslim at the time meant, you have no relation and no earning, basically, because at the time everything will be cut off from. So the Muslims helped each other. So, and this guy's acting like somehow that's like an evil thing. Muslims helping each other is an evil thing, right? And this is and on top of it, and this is where deception comes in, right? He's acting as if like the Prophet was this greedy person, but the reality is, whenever there would be this kind of distribution of booty, he gave everything away. He never kept anything to himself. For example, there's one hadith. It's in Sunan Abi Dawud. It says the following. Abdullah al-Hawzani reported, I met Bilal, the caller of prayer for the Messenger of Allah, peace and peace be upon him, at Aleppo. And I said, Oh Bilal, tell us about the spending of the Prophet. Bilal said, he would not have anything left. I was the one to manage it for him, since Allah sent him until the day he died. If a Muslim came to him and he saw him naked, he would order me to depart, borrow money, and purchase a cloak for him. Then I would cloak him and feed him. And read about this in Sunan Abi Dawud, 3,500. So basically what Bilal is saying, that he would manage the money of the Prophet for him, and anytime he would see a poor person, especially a Muslim, if they came to him, then he would give everything he has to help him, and then at the end of the day, he wouldn't have anything left. And Bilal actually had to help him because he was so generous. But according to Nabi Asli, this is the evil guy we're supposed to hate, right? He's the evil person who gives everything away to the poor people. But there's another hadith, and this is from Umar, I believe. So this property was specially given to Allah's apostle, but by Allah, neither did he take possession of it and leave nor did he favor himself with it to your exclusion. But he gave it to all of you and distributed it among you till this property remained out of it. Allah's apostle used to spend the yearly expense of his family out of this property, and used to keep the rest of his revenue to be spent on Allah's cause. Allah's apostle kept on doing this throughout the lifetime. So basically, he would give everything away. Then whatever would be left, he spent it on his family, and then whatever would be left, he would give it to, like, in other words, what Umar is saying here is that he wouldn't keep anything to himself. He gave everything away. And we're supposed to hate the Prophet because, he's generous. Oh my God, the Prophet was so generous. How evil. This is their logic, Islamophobic logic. But anyway, with this, I'm done with this clown. Thank you guys for watching. And if you guys liked the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you want to support me, you can support me on Patreon or by becoming a YouTube member. And with this, I want to end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.